Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mike, and today I am going live right now on a topic that I think is very important. So I'm going to wait for a few people to hop in here, and we're going to get things going. We are going to kick things off in a second. Un segundo. Un segundo. Becoming more confident about sharing your content online. Becoming more confident. Let me just test out all right, you can see me. If you can see me and hear me, say yes in the comments. If you could see me and hear me, say yes in the comments. If you can see me and hear me, say yes in the comments, and then we're gonna kick this off. So I really wanted to speak about this topic because I've observed, actually social media has observed that people are just not confident about about sharing things. There are some small business owners out here that they're just not sharing enough. They're not doing enough. They're not leveraging these social platforms a lot. And sometimes it's not even the social platform that even has the chance to inhibit them from reaching an audience. It's them, you know. So I wanted to speak to confidence. I wanted to speak to why this is something that a lot of people fall into. And I also want to talk to you a little bit about how to overcome it, how to get over it, and hopefully we can start sort of a little dialogue here so that this doesn't have to be one way. So first and foremost, why is this even important? And the biggest reason that I could find is that where you spend your energy is very, very, very important. Okay, it's very important. So I'll say this. Years ago, we did not have the power that we have today. We didn't have the power that we have today. We didn't have the power to be able to get on a little device here and be able to speak to hundreds of people. We didn't have that capability. Distribution-wise, we also didn't have the ability to do things real time, right? So these social platforms were set up and they're extremely powerful, but the issue is that it's going underutilized, all right? It's going underutilized. People are not using the platform as much as they should, and it's partly because the social platform created this societal pressure that makes people not confident about sharing their own shit. So I think it's very important to just speak to confidence, have a discussion about it, and to answer any questions that you guys might have. But also, just so I can give you a little bit of insight into what I've observed are some huge reasons behind why people do not share their own content, all right? So if you have any questions, I always say this, if you have any questions, please drop it in the comments and I will get to it as soon as I can, all right? So where you spend your energy is important. Now, one of the first things that I normally ask people when they tell me about their confidence level and content is, do you actually have something to say? Do you actually have something to say? I can't tell you. Oh, can you hear me a little bit better now? I didn't even have my microphone on. Do you actually have something to say? I see some people, they go live, they record these videos, and they do it because they just feel they have to. They go on live, they do it because they feel they have to, but they don't even have anything to say. Now, just doing things just to be social is not good. It's not good enough, all right? People are going to gravitate, especially if you're a business owner, people are going to gravitate towards the people that they feel has some type of energy that is magnetic. And it's important for you to become more so that you can have more and be more, so that, you know, people have something to be drawn to. Right now, if you don't have something to say, this is the solution, okay? You need to fill your cup so you can fill others up, okay? Fill your cup so you can fill others up. So what do I mean by that? Like, what I mean is there's some people that don't have anything to say because they're not doing some of these very elementary things. If you want to fill up your cup, you got to learn more, read more, do more, reach more, and teach more. Learn more, read more, do more, reach more, teach more. All of these are things that enable you to become more so that you can reach more and you can do more. And I mean, ultimately, this is what the reason people have issues with their confidence level is because they believe. Now this is a psychological thing. I'm going to talk psychology here, okay? If I thought that people giving me their attention was a chore instead of a service, then I would not have confidence to share content. Okay? Hear me out again. If I thought that people giving me their attention was a chore rather than me providing them a service and them saying, oh my gosh, I need to listen to Mike, then I would not have confidence to share content. I wouldn't. Because in my mind is saying that I am not deserving of their attention. I am not deserving of their attention. So the reason I put, learn more, read more, do more is because when you do these things and you share these things, that is what in your mind you're like, man, I know stuff that is, I'm filling my cup so I can fill others up. And you have a selfless desire to fill other people's cup. Selfless desire to fill other people's cup. So the next question is, Brennan says, definitely got to teach. If you do all these things, you'll grow a lot faster. Absolutely, Brennan. You're absolutely right. Brennan is actually Brennan is a huge leader he has a very large group, a Black Business Owners Network group. You guys share and you guys have some very engaging conversation, man. Thanks very much for hopping on this live. Definitely follow him if you guys are looking to connect with, very influential individuals nationwide. Love that I got some people on here. Engaging. Please, again, I'm going to say this again. If you have any questions, please drop your questions inside of the comments, all right? So what should I actually share? So that question, there's a lot of elements to that question, right? But as a business owner, there's primarily three things that I would say business owners should be aiming to do with their audience. The first thing is to entertain. The second thing is to empower, or the third thing is to educate. Now, when most people think that if you're a business owner, what you should be doing is promoting. That's what most people think. As a business owner, you should promote. But in actuality, if you want to have, again, this conversation is about confidence. If you want to confidently share your content, you have to do one of those three things, because if it's outside of that, again, promoting is a pseudo-selfish action, all right? Because you have expectations when you promote. When you promote something, you say, hey, like, I have the expectation to make something. So sometimes your mind gets into this mode where it's like, man, you know what? Because my expectations are greater than what I feel I'm giving, I don't know if I should share this. I don't know if I should get on camera. If you are thinking too selfishly, then you won't believe that what you're doing is an actual service. All right. Now, we love to help people. We love to help people. The biggest, if you take away anything from this live, take away this, please take away this. Content is service. Actually, content should be service. When you are sharing your content, you are serving your audience. You should be serving your audience. You should be saying, man, I'm doing this because I want to serve them. So when you entertain, empower, or educate, your confidence level is through the roof, because in your mind is saying, man, I'm helping people. I'm doing something. I'm sharing. I'm serving. You technically don't share a promotion, right? You promote because, again, your expectation is to get. But when you say content is a service, that is when it becomes a slightly different dynamic with regards to like what your mind is telling you subconsciously as it pertains to your confidence level to share your content. Now, I would say when it comes to content, there's also a very huge question that I normally ask myself. I normally ask myself, and I try to have my clients, my students, anybody that I'm coaching, I try to have them ask this question to themselves, and that is, who should care? If you're sharing something, who should even care? Who gives an absolute damn about the content or the thing that you're sharing? Who should care? Now, again, these are very self-reflective questions that you should be asked. These are the look in the mirror questions, right? Like when you look in the mirror and you start to say, all right, who should care? Like in my mind, let's take me, right? I do my best to share information on marketing, sales, business development, growth, mentality, professionalism. I try to share that type of content. So in my mind, I'm always thinking, I think people should care because some of the experiences that I'm sharing has helped others in the past. People should care because I took a lot of time studying this stuff. People should care because if they were to listen or if they were to learn this one little nugget, it would dramatically improve their income. People should care because it would dramatically save them time. People should care because it will enable them to do these things. And so my mind automatically puts myself into a mode of servitude. Off rip, I'm thinking I am serving people by sharing. So my confidence is through the roof. I am confident about sharing my content because I know when people consume it, like in their mind, they're thinking, man, you know what? Like I'm getting value. I am delivering value as much as I can. As much as I can, all right? So who should give a damn about your content is a very important question that you should be asking yourself. Now, of course, when you say who should care, you got to start to think about, well, what does my audience actually care about? What does my audience actually care about? And, that's a slightly harder question to answer, right? What does my audience actually care about? And a lot of times it requires you to assess your audience. You got to sit back and say, yo, you know what? Like what, if I want to reach business owners, what do business owners care about? Well, business owners care about money. Business owners care about their time. Business owners care about their resources. They care about their business, right? What do they care about? And when you start to write down what your audience should or actually cares about, that's when you're able to really begin to craft a like sort of a plan, and you're able to craft a message that will serve the things that they care about. So when you think about what they care about, it makes it way easier to answer this question, which is who should care, right? It makes it way easier to answer that question, who should care. So you have to think about, what does my audience actually care about? And it makes the process very much, very easier. It makes what you do selfless. Again, we're talking about confidence here. We're talking about confidence here. Confidence, confidence, confidence. What does your audience care about? If you care, so John C. Maxwell, and I say this quote a lot. John C. Maxwell says this. He has this quote, and he says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Okay? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So it's important to know what they care about, and it's important for you to know that they see you caring. So that's why you being selfless very much helps your ability to be confident about getting on camera, sharing information, and knowing and feeling with ultimate conviction, hey, I am doing something that is serving these people, and your mind makes you free to do it. Your mind makes you free to do it. It is with absolute conviction that you get on camera or that you share, you write, you create things that will ultimately serve your audience. Now, when it comes to what people care about, many times what's going through people's head, they're feeling one of two things. They're either feeling a pain or they're not experiencing a gain. Or they're pursuing a gain, rather. They're either feeling a pain or they are pursuing a gain. So when you think about, and these things do not have to be, extreme, right? You solving someone's convenience problem is a gain. It may have been a pain, right? Like here's an example, right? I lose my television remote all the time. I lose my remote all the time. Now, me losing it, like I would say the word pain is extreme, right? But if someone were to communicate to me some type of insight into ensuring I cannot lose this thing, that gives me a gain. It's because I felt a pain. Now, when you think of content, you're typically speaking to what goes through or what moves people, throughout the day. Like it could be something they're experiencing with their health. It could be something they're experiencing with their income, their business. It could be something that they're experiencing with their relationships. All of these are things that they're feeling either a pain or they're pursuing a gain with. Now, here's the trick. Well, not the trick, but the reality. The reality with content is the more you can move people in terms of addressing that pain or that gain, the stronger the relevance your confidence is to that person. So here's an example, right? Like, let's go back to the remote example. If I were to see something, like let's say I'm making decisions, I'm scrolling through social media, and I see something that helps me solve this problem. If I'm only experiencing this problem once a month, right? The pain isn't great enough for your content to be hyper relevant to me, right? Now, let's take it a step. Let's change the example, right? This is a television remote that I lose probably once a month. Let's say my business is having issues and I'm not making money. This is something that's keeping me up at night. Content that addresses that pain moves me way more. So your relevance is a direct correlation to the distance that you can move people based off of that pain or that gain. Everything will come down to pains and gains. Erica, speak to their pain. Absolutely. Zen, connect more. Absolutely. Absolutely. So now I've been sort of addressing this. How does this play into your confidence? Well, again, I want to say this. If you forget anything that I am saying here, it is content is a service. Content is service. Content is service. If you do things in a selfless manner and you always feel as though you are giving, I promise you, your mind, you feel more let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, right? Um, you know, living downtown, right? You live downtown, or you're downtown, you're walking down the street. Do you think that you need confidence to give, like, let's say somebody in need, somebody that's homeless? Do you think you need confidence to give them a $5 bill? Do you need confidence to give them a $5 bill? Do you need confidence when you see, like, let's say you see a dog that's hungry and you give the dog food? Do you need confidence to do that? Right? Like it's not necessarily, it's confidence that inhibits you from doing certain things, right? But your mind naturally, and your heart naturally, we as humans, we naturally want to give. Now, let's say that you're going into a sales meeting. Let's say you're going into a sales meeting and you're in the sales meeting, and in your mind, you're like, damn, this proposal is $20,000, right? This proposal is $20,000. Let's say you have absolutely no clue what they're going to get on the other side of this proposal. Your mind, you will be nervous. You're not going to be confident. You won't be confident. You're going to be nervous, and they're going to sense it. They're going to sense it because your mind and you're not serving at that moment. You're not serving. You're thinking that you're going to be the one to gain from this interaction. You're thinking you're going to be the one to gain from this interaction. Now, the thing about content is, if you always share content with the notion that you are serving people, it dramatically changes the context of, dramatically changes what the activity actually is. So your confidence level dramatically increases, and you're able to do it with I would say a purer heart. Selflessness is key. Selflessness is key. You want to get more confidence? Become selfless. Become selfless. Now, of course, when it comes to selflessness, and when it comes to your business, everything boils down to expectations. Whether you have them, whether you don't. Whether you have them, whether you don't. I'll say this, right? It is very difficult. It is a difficult thing. It is a difficult thing to come on social media and try to speak to people, or record a video, or to post content if you are in a position of want and need. I'll tell you that it is very difficult. I am not immune to any of the stuff that I'm saying here. I've experienced many of it. It is very difficult to go and speak to somebody with a pure heart, or share content with a pure heart if you do have a true desire to use social media to increase your business. It's very hard. I remember I used to work in the insurance industry, and I remember what it felt like. I remember what it felt like setting up these meetings and going out and sitting down and talking to people, and my mind was always trying to get them to, I subconsciously always tried to get them to talk about finances. I subconsciously tried to get them to see the need in insurance. I subconsciously tried to get them to see the value in, what it is that I provide, right? And it was hard. It was hard because at that time I was in need. I needed to make sales. I needed sales. Now, contrast that with people who are in the financial industry. They're making 20, 30, 40 grand a month. When they sit down with you, they're sitting there like, we don't have to do business right now. I genuinely came here to talk to you because I want to help you. Like, their mind isn't thinking about their own needs. Their mind is thinking, they are in a genuine position to serve, right? Now, with content, with social media, social media is a medium. It is a medium to be social. Okay, it is a medium to be social and to connect with other people. I spoke about this on a live yesterday. If you want to see the recap, join my Guerrilla Launch group. I'll drop the link below. But hey, look, if you want to leverage social media to its full potential, you have to leverage it in a way that will start conversations to ensure people are engaging with you. You must start conversations to ensure people are engaging with you. That also puts the power in your court. It puts the ball in your court because people have given you a little bit of energy. All right. So let's talk about content. Right. Let's talk a little bit about content because I think that it definitely helps when we speak about tactics. Right. Actually, I didn't even put that slide in here. All right. Well, let's talk about tactics. Right. If I were to get on social media day in, day out and just say, I do sales and marketing, 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 what will happen is eventually my audience is going to start to tune me out. They're going to tune me out. Why? Because they're going to look at what I'm doing as being selfish. I do sales and marketing. It doesn't matter how good you are. It really doesn't even matter how good you could be the best sales and marketing person on the planet. It doesn't even matter how good you are. If I were to do that day in, day out, people will tune me out. They will tune me out. But let's say I leverage social media to spark conversations. Let's say in one group I asked the question, hey, what's the biggest thing that you believe you're struggling with when you're looking to grow your business? I go into another group. Hey, what's going on? What do you think is inhibiting you from doubling your income or doubling your revenue? I go into another group. Hey, what makes you nervous about hiring people in your business? Like, I could literally start all of these conversations, right? Once somebody comments, once somebody answers, I can respond to them as the expert. I can respond to them as the expert. What does that do to my confidence level? It goes up. It goes up. When I asked a question that the only expectation I have is, speaking about expectations, the only expectation I have is for them to give me an answer. It's for them to give me an answer. And if there's one thing people love to give you, people love to give you answers, or their answer. They love to give you answers. Now, I put these questions out. People give me an answer, right? And then I respond, or I speak to them, I engage to them as the expert. As the expert. That increases my confidence. Why? Because I am engaging, I'm sharing, I'm doing things with very little expectation, but I'm also doing things from a selfless standpoint. So now as my confidence level grows, I would say I become a bear, B-E-A-R. If you haven't heard, and I should have put that in your slides, I'm just off the cuff here. There's something called having a bear attitude, B-E-A-R. The B stands for belief. The B stands for belief. So anything you do, you have to have the belief that what it is that you're doing is worth doing, right? So you have to have a belief that whatever you're doing is worth doing, right? Or whatever you're sharing is worth sharing. And whatever you're saying is worth saying, okay? You have a belief. When you have a belief in something, you have a certain amount of enthusiasm about it. Or you should. You shouldn't be doing anything if you don't have enthusiasm. You typically won't believe in anything if you don't have enthusiasm. But you believe in something and then you have enthusiasm. When you have enthusiasm about certain things, that causes you to take action. So B, belief, E, enthusiasm, A is action. You take action. After you take action in anything, what happens is you get results. You get results. But now, the key to this bear attitude thing is it's the cycle, right? What do you think happens to your belief when you get results? Your belief goes up when you get results. Your belief goes up. But now when your belief goes up, what do you think happens to your enthusiasm? Your enthusiasm goes up. When your enthusiasm goes up, what do you think happens to your action? Your action goes up. When your action goes up, what do you think happens to your results? Your results go up. Now, feeding back into your belief. And I love to speak on this whole bear attitude thing that I learned when I was in network marketing when I learned about the bear attitude. Um, the key to it is that it is absolutely true. Many of you, your confidence level is directly tied to the amount of action you're taking. Many of you have belief and you're enthusiastic, you're not taking any action. Since you're not taking action, you're not getting results. And what is action, right? What is action in terms of social media? Action in terms of social media is doing these things, is actually sharing. Oh, shoot. Action on social media or in your business is doing one of these things. You're entertaining, you're empowering, or you're educating. If you're not doing those things, then oftentimes you fall into a position where you're like, well, what am I doing with my audience? What am I doing with my audience? Now, again, you can do those things way better when you do these things. When you learn more, you read more, you do more, you reach more, you watch more, you teach more. If you do any of these things, all of these things increase your confidence level in sharing content, creating content, doing more online, becoming more online. Again, these platforms, I am speaking right now, and I am speaking right now simultaneously to 10 people, right? In the past, there was a day when salespeople and people that own businesses would die to have 10 people in a room. They would die to get the attention of somebody. Die, right? Now, think about this. I could have cared less if there was one person on this live. I could have cared less if there was one person on this live. Actually, if I would have come on live and nobody would have jumped on, I would have just made this a video. I would have just made this a video because my expectation is to say, hey, you know what? For one, I have something to share. I have something to share. I have something to share, and I have something to share that I believe people care about. I know for an absolute fact people are having so much trouble sharing content online because they do not have the confidence to hit the post button. They do not have the confidence to go live. They don't have the confidence to record something or to create something and just share it. They don't have it. Many people do not have it. I know some extremely intelligent people that are robbing the world of their intellect, of their creativity. They're robbing the world of their beauty because they don't have the confidence to share it. And I don't believe that that should be anything that should inhibit people from growing their business, growing themselves, or growing their audience online. All of this is a choice. It's a decision that you should be making. And that decision typically ties in with everything that you would be getting. But at the same time, it ties into what the other people are getting. If you're selling a product or a service, people are getting something. They're getting something. They're getting something. They're always getting something. All right. So I went through all of the stuff that I wanted to get through, but I want to start a conversation. So what are some of the things? What are some questions that you guys have about this stuff? Does this make sense? Does this make sense? If it makes sense, write yes in the comments. If you have questions, write whatever that is in the comments. Does this stuff make sense? Confidence. Who on here, and this is sort of the come to the altar moment, right? This is the come to the altar moment. Who on here has some challenges with confidence in sharing your content? Who wants to come to the altar and share the fact that they have a confidence challenge with sharing content? Who believes that they should be sharing more content? Who believes they should be sharing more content? Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Nikki, yes. Yes, it does. Awesome. Awesome. I'm glad this is making sense to people. I am, again, committed and devoted to, and I keep looking down. The reason I keep looking down is because I actually have, I have my phone here, and this is how I'm actually seeing the comments. I can't see the comments on the interface that I have up here, but so whenever I look down, I'm not checking the time. I'm looking at, whether or not you guys are sharing comments. Amazing. Yes, you should be. You should be. And again, some of this stuff boils down to, just making a decision to do it. Making a decision to do it. Some of it comes down to accountability. Some of it comes down to accountability. Some people, life and all that stuff tends to get in the way when it comes to thinking that your activity on social media matters, right? So the thing about the social media is like a garden. Social media is a garden, and the key to social media is to become very good at planting a lot of seeds. You become very good at planting a lot of seeds. And the reason you're planting seeds is because you want to become top of mind to people about things that you believe you're serving them on, right? So you should literally, on social media, your aim should be to plant seeds. Seeds, 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 seeds. You're sharing information, you're sharing content, you're educating, you're entertaining, you're empowering, you're doing things to spread out seeds so that your relationships begin to grow and bloom, right? But at the same time, like those relationships are blooming because you're becoming more, but at the same time, those people that you're sharing and doing things with, they're becoming more as well. And then they're looking at you like, man, you know what? I learned so much about my personal finances from Kimberly. I learned so much about my personal finances from Kimberly. Kimberly's the person I'm going to go to. I learned so much about marketing from John. John's the person I'm going to go to when I need it. If you share things about relationships, if somebody goes to have a counselor, they're going to say, you know what? I learned so much about relationships because of that person. That person planted a lot of seeds and that relationship bloomed. Toyin goes, I'm at the altar. And Jamila, it makes sense. I always worry about sharing content and not trying to sound like I'm not trying to always sell. Yeah, no, you see, Jamila, the thing about like what you offer, right? Like you're creating things that is serving other people, right? Especially with your business where you're baking and you're creating things for people that have special like eating needs, right? That's typically what you speak to, right? Like I had a friend that actually had an allergy to some type of special type of yeast, right? Didn't know it for years, and it's funny because they didn't know that she had an allergy, right? But imagine if the content that you were sharing wasn't just always about the food itself and the taste itself, which tastes good. What if it was about, hey, let me educate you a little bit about, some of the conditions that me and my daughters had. Let me educate you a little bit on like what, how this food is prepared and how it matters to consume it. Like you educate people, and you can also create things to empower them as well. But ultimately, all of that should tie into also saying, hey, you know what? All of these are things I'm educating you on, but at the same time, my solution is that I do the work to solve it. I do the work to solve it. So it doesn't matter what products or what services, if you are serving, you're creating content that serves people, I absolutely guarantee your mind lowers that barrier so that you can see your confidence shine through it. Trying to see if there's any other questions, and I'm just gonna keep. I am at 30. I'm at 39 minutes here. 39 minutes. Questions. Again, like some people say, well, Mike, you're good on camera. It's not that I'm good on camera. It is absolutely not that I'm good on camera. It is not that I'm good on camera. It is that I come on camera. And my aim right now is to serve as many people as possible. Now, my expectation is if the nuggets that I'm sharing, because I read a lot, I watch a lot, I educate myself, and I fill my cup and I'm pouring myself into, because I do that so much, my expectation is that, man, you know what? Something I'm gonna say on this live is gonna stick. And when it sticks, those people are gonna say, man, you know what? That dude knows about social media. He knows about marketing. What comes of that? What comes of that? I have no clue, but I've planted those seeds. I think we got another question. Crystal clear content. I appreciate you going live and educating and motivating. I do have a bit of a block when it comes to sharing. My business is artist development. I'm a craftsman of jewelry, and I can post, but consistency definitely becomes an issue every now and then. But definitely when I get real deep into the creative process, trying to find a balance between those words is difficult. So if you're, I mean, so here's the thing, right? I mean, the beauty in jewelry is the process. The beauty in jewelry is the process. It's not the product. The beauty in jewelry is the process, not always the product. So I see a lot of people like they make jewelry, or they promote things that look beautiful, but the value is not always what went in. The value isn't always what that end product is. The true value is what went into making it. The true value is what went into making it. The hands that made it, the artistry that made it, is what makes that valuable. That's what makes that valuable. And it's up to you to increase that process, to increase the value that you put into that process and the artistic expression that you put into that process. And it's up to you to share that. You're not giving the world jewelry, okay? You're not giving the world jewelry. You're giving the world art. That's what you share. That's what you share. You're not selling jewelry. You said it. You're a craftsman. Right? You are selling the world art, right? And so when you share that experience, that is what I guarantee you, right? You record videos of you making jewelry, your sales will skyrocket. Don't even put something that says how much the jewelry costs. Don't put anything about where people can buy the jewelry. Don't even share that information. Just show you making it. Just show you making it. I guarantee you, people would say, I want to, what is that? They will buy into you as the artist. They will buy into you as the craftsman. And also that will help in your confidence. Like it doesn't always have to be words, right? It could also be, it could be in the medium that you use to communicate your art. It's not always words. It's not always words. It could be photos. It could be video. So find the best medium, record that process, record what you're putting into, creating these things, and then distribute that. That's what people buy into. Have you ever, and people will pay more. People also pay more to things that have more expression, that had a greater human element to it. It takes what? It takes 6 hours. It takes 6 hours to make a Honda Accord. It takes 4 or 5 months to make a Rolls Royce. It takes months to make a Rolls Royce because it's handmade, right? Have you ever watched the videos of them making these things? And yeah, they're selling these things for millions of dollars, right? The car's the car. The car can drive just as fast as, well, relative, right? But a car gets you from point A to point B. What separates you buying a $15,000 Honda from you buying, a $500,000 Rolls Royce? Well, the difference is what went into making it. And that's what you got to record so that people buy into you as a craftsman. Once people buy into you as a craftsman, you name the price. You name the price. And also going back to, Jamila, going back to your statement about not trying to always sell. There's a really good book. There's a really good book by this guy named Dan Pink, and the name of the book is called "To Sell Is Human." To Sell Is Human, and it frames sales in a way where you don't see it as you being the car salesman with the white shirt and the black tie trying to sell people on stuff. There's this thing back in the day. There were these two phrases. One was caveat emptor and caveat venditor. Caveat emptor and caveat venditor. Now, caveat emptor means buyer beware. Buyer beware. Now, what does that mean, right? What that means is, let's say you were going to shop for a car right now. And you walked into the lot. I'm sorry, no. Back in the day. Back in the day, you went to go shop for a car. You walked into the lot and you said, I want this car. The salesman would say, yeah, that car's 20 grand. That was a period of time where it was caveat emptor, buyer beware. You had to trust that that salesman had your best interest at heart, and you also had to trust that you didn't have the power to know that the dealership down the street was selling it for 5 grand less. You didn't have that power. Caveat emptor. Same thing with other industries. You weren't educated. You didn't have access to the information in order to know whether or not you're making a good buying decision. Caveat emptor. Now it is caveat venditor. Caveat venditor is seller beware. Seller beware. Now, what does seller beware mean? Seller beware is, you know what? Hey, this car that you're trying to sell me for 20 grand, I could walk down the street and go get it for 18. What are we going to do to make a deal? We have these little devices here that gives us a tremendous amount of power. Gives us a tremendous amount of power. So sales nowadays is dramatically different than it was in the past, because it is really up to you to create that front end process to ensure that you're getting to that level of trust that people should have in you, as long as you are being selfless in your distribution of content. So I say all of that to say this, right? If you're selfless, you're going to be more confident. You're going to share more. You're going to do more. You're going to say more. If you learn more, read more, do more, reach more, teach more, if you do that more, you also will have more confidence, and you're going to also have more substance to the information that you share on social media and through these platforms. So highly recommend that you do those things. Dope. I recently started recording the process, just haven't posted just yet. Thanks for the confirmation. Gonna move forward with it. Absolutely, man. Please, please, please do not rob the world of the experience of witnessing your artistry. Okay? And I'm gonna say that again. Do not rob the world of witnessing you expressing your artistry. You are doing people a favor by showing them those videos. Don't even think about what you're going to get out of it. Share those videos. Share it. Now, I'm at 48 minutes. I'm hungry. I'm about to go grab something to eat. Now, I will say, all right, if anybody on this live wants to work with me, wants to have a discussion, wants to say, hey, you know what, Mike, I would love to hop on a 15-minute call to see, whether or not one of your ebooks, one of your products, one of your courses, one of your programs, whether any of that is aligned with where I'm at in terms of my business development journey, let me know. I will drop a link below. Or you could even say interested. Hey, let's chat. Shoot me a message. But I want to have a discussion with anybody that I believe I can pour into, anybody that could share some insight. I remember years ago, there were actually, I'm a big nugget guy. I could read a full book and there's one little nugget from the book that dramatically helped me in some way or another. There was a course that I paid for. There's 1 or 2 or 3 nuggets that really stood out, that dramatically changed my frame of mind or how I thought or what I did or anything like that. So if there's anything that can come out of a 15, 20, 30-minute conversation with me, that brings me fulfillment when someone says, hey, you know what, that totally makes sense. I'm going to definitely try that. If there's anything that I could help you with, if you say, hey, you know what, I need some help building out these landing pages or doing some of these ad campaigns or creating content, I need help with that stuff, then that's when we can have a discussion about different ways to work together, all right? But overall, I am 100% confident in my ability to share content because I am here to serve, all right? So I encourage you all to do the same. Serve, serve, serve. Content is service. All right? Hope everybody has a great rest of the day. Let me know if you have any questions. All right? I'll see you guys later. All right? Take care.